and they're damn, if a team hates each other as much as they do with the North-South divide in Wales, they
Yeah.
get all the money down there. They get everything down there through the Welsh government and everything. And we hate them. Our main rivals are Chester, and they always will be. But we hate Swansea and Cardiff, and to lose both of them it was awful. He'd had a chat with Dave Seaman before the game, and Dave Seaman had promised him his gloves after the game, and he still came and gave and give them to him. So after the game, he went and found him and gave them to him. And according to Mickey, David Seaman said they don't work anyway. And I think it was when they first came and just listening to them speak. And I know they're actors. I know they get paid to lie for a living, but it just seemed to everything they've said they're going to do, pretty much, apart from always beat Chester because they're nowhere near us. Everything they've said they were going to do, they've done.
Hello and welcome to Random Fandom, the podcast where we pick a random team out of the hat each week and then we'll follow them and we will try and get a fan on to talk about them because it's always better to hear from fans than listening to me. I'm Rob and John over there. John, your mate Steve's played a blinder again. Do you want to tee up who we're about to speak to?
Yes, I do. And before I do that, I just have to say, listen, this is the third or fourth guest that we're getting on that's come through Steve Edwards, our Swansea fan. So he is now officially our chief scout. And when we bring on this guest, I've promised, as a thank you to Steve, he gets to ask the first question. Okay.
Ooh.
So we have with us a phenomenal, not just a Wrexham fan before the time of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, but one that's featured on the documentary as well.
So let's fire up
This
the
is
crowd
yeah.
to find out who we've got then. So here we go. Well, we know you're a Wrexham fan, but what's your name and how long you been supporting them?
So my name is Simon Cook. My first game watching Wrexham, my dad took me along, was in February 1989. So just a couple of years before the documentary, um, before Ryan and Rob had ever heard of probably Wales, never mind Wrexham. Um, yeah, my dad is originally from the Northwest. His mum was from Salford, so I had a few games going to Old Trafford. But him and my mum had moved over to Wrexham for work before just after they got married, and I was born in Wrexham. And yeah, they were the local team. I got taken along, and first game, I don't remember much about it, to be honest. But I sort of just remember it's just everything. It's your first experiences of any game of football, isn't it, as a kid? And I've been fortunate. I've got three kids to have taken all three of my kids to watch Wrexham, and it's the walking through going through the turnstiles, it clicking because it's an old turnstile. It's not these modern big Premier League ones. It clicks as it goes through. Your mum gives you a nod and whatever. You go in and you walk up. You walk down the tunnel, whatever, and you're greeted by this massive pitch, which seems bigger than any pitch you've ever played on yourselves. I'm old enough to remember playing. As I said, I've got three kids, and we play. Some of them play 7v7, some of them 9v9, and they've got all these small goals. When I was playing under 10s, it was full size pitch, 11 aside, but still walking out, at the race course or any stadium anywhere in the world. Fortunate again, to have been to quite a lot of different places, but walk out and the lights are on. It was a February game, so the lights were on, and it's just special to seeing it all being there and seeing the smells and the Bovril and the cigarettes as it was
Bovril.
then, and it was just it's just the atmosphere of everything. I'm a non-smoker, but when smoking was first banned, I missed it at games because it was the smell of football, and yeah, there's just these little things that take you back, aren't they? So anyway, I waffle there. So
No. That is absolutely brilliant paint of a picture. And I've got so many questions, but John has promised the first proper question to
okay.
Chief Scout Steve. So how are you doing this, John? You've written it down or have you got a sound clip?
Oh, I'm not fancy when it comes to. We rely on you to do all of the technical stuff, don't we, Rob? No, he simply said, "Can you ask
Yeah.
the
From
Wrexham
a
fan?"
Swansea fan, I'm a bit worried.
Exactly. Well, yeah. See, you put two and two together. Very intelligent. So he's asked about your goalkeeper's performance away at Swansea this season.
That's mean,
You know
Steve.
what? Do you know
Terrible,
what?
Steve.
I We've played Swansea in the league and Cardiff in the cup, and we've lost. What to me are massive. Both Swansea and Cardiff have said, "Oh, they're not derbies. Oh, it's not Derby. They're from North Wales. They're miles away."
Uh,
But I've grown up in the watching football properly throughout the whole '90s, and we were playing on both teams regularly. And they're derby. If a team hates each other as much as they do with the North-South divide in Wales, they
yeah.
get all the money down there. They get everything down there through the Welsh government and everything. And we hate them. Our main rivals are Chester, and they always will be. But we hate Swansea and Cardiff, and to lose both of them was it was awful. And our keeper, who has been at his play, I mean, you guys have seen since the Forest game. Since you had the Forest fan on you, obviously there was the Forest game, and he had an absolute blinder. He's been
Mm.
brilliant all season. Saved penalties to win us the shootout against Forest, but I don't know what happened in that game. I've just got no answer for him. Yeah,
Well,
the Jacks. Yeah, they got us there.
let's put that behind us.
Please.
Good old Steve. I think you might have hung up with that question, but thanks for staying on, Simon. So, um, so we know when you got into Wrexham, and then we like to kind of go down usually kind of like lowest lows, highest highs, because everyone's
Okay.
got that memory that feels like an absolute gut punch, and they've usually got one that they can sort of close their eyes and imagine being back there again. You've probably got more on both counts, actually, being a Wrexham fan. What is that? Is there a single one where you close your eyes and go, "Oh God, I never want to experience that ever again. That is the worst memory in my football fandom."
Um, the obvious answer is getting relegated out of the Football League. However, um, something that was an ongoing thing. We nearly got relegated the year before. It was the last game of the season. We beat Boston 3-1 to stay up on. It was between us and them, and whoever lost went down. And so we had a couple of seasons of flirting with it. So it was sort of when it happened away at Hereford, we knew it was happening, and yeah, it was crap. So am I allowed to swear on this? Sorry.
Yeah, you can go worse than that if you like.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to be on my best behavior there. However, for me, I'd probably go 96, 97 season, I think it was. We FA Cup. We played some smaller teams at the start. We had to go to a replay to get through at Colwyn Bay, and that was in the first or second round. And then we had the massive game at West Ham. Harry Redknapp was in charge, and we went. It was in the snow. You may remember it from when you were younger. It was the first time that Hugo Porfirio had ever seen snow, according to Harry Redknapp. He wanted the game called off. It was a disgrace. I showed my lad. It was like the anniversary of it a couple of weeks ago, and I showed my lad it. And he was like, "What? They only dug out the lines?" I was like, "Yeah, that's all you needed to see." And they scored. We scored to go 1-0 up, and then there was an equaliser, and Harry Redknapp was fuming. Oh well. We went to their place, scored a last-minute winner to win 1-0. Then we drew Peterborough away, beat them 4-2. Then we went to Birmingham, who were a decent side in the times of Steve Bruce, and anyway, really good players. Beat them 3-1 at their place, and then we drew Chesterfield. And Chesterfield away, this is walk in the park. We're definitely going to beat these. And then I think we knew, because it was put to us, it was changed to a Sunday. So we knew if we won that we'd play Middlesbrough in the semi-final. This was the quarter-final of the FA Cup. This doesn't happen. We're a little old team. We've always had a few cup upsets and stuff over the years, but
We don't need to mention those, Simon.
Oh no, we do.
We'll get onto that in a minute. But it was. We lost. There was a ball that came over the top. Defender was running back. Keeper was coming out, and neither of them did anything. there's a split down the fan base whether it was their embrace the right backs or the Andy Marriott, the goalkeeper, who either should have cleared it. Neither of them did. Striker stuck his leg out, lobbed the keeper. We lost 1-0, and then it was. I think they were really close to beating Middlesbrough in the semi-final, if I remember rightly. Anyway, Sean Dyche played for Chesterfield that day, and it was just absolutely heartbreaking. I was in fifth year of high school at the time. Season ticket went everywhere, and to lose a game like that still it still hurts now. But that's probably the one that's the worst one, I suppose.
Was that the year that Middlesbrough then went on to get battered by Chelsea in the final or
Yeah,
something? Was
yeah.
that didn't like
I
Di
mean,
Matteo
we'd
or
have
someone?
loved to have got battered by
Oh
Chelsea.
yeah,
But yeah.
Oh
But
man.
yeah. Anyway,
No,
football,
I
eh?
mean, this is why we love doing it because, like you say, the obvious one is to pick the relegation, but everyone's got their own thing that
Yeah.
just resonates with them. So come on, let's put that one behind us. I mean, there's probably quite a few highs recently, but if you had to pick one,
Yeah. I mean, again, we've got some great games. I've been fortunate to have been to many cup upsets over the years. Like West Ham, I just mentioned. We've beaten Middlesbrough in the FA Cup with Juninho in the team and things like
yeah,
that.
he was a player.
And Gaza playing for Middlesbrough at the time. We've won. Unfortunately, I was away travelling, but we won the LDV Vans Trophy at the Millennium Stadium, which I'm told was an amazing day out. Arsenal. I was only young, but
let's focus on
can we
that a little
just
bit.
mention that a little bit? I think you'd won the league, the last
Yeah.
football league. So this is the
Yes.
first season of when football began, because I don't think football began before the Premier League, do they?
No, there's nothing before the Premier
It
League
just didn't
apparently.
exist.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely battered us. The highlights are on YouTube. Absolutely annihilated us. But we went in 0-0 at half time, and
We went one up,
scored
didn't
a
we?
goal. I think it was
Yeah,
Smith.
Alan Smith.
Smudger Smith. Smudger Smith.
Yeah, scrappy goal, but just sort of thought, well,
That
that's it.
sounds like Arsenal.
That's it. But then the 1-0 to the Arsenal and all that. And then the goal that everyone thinks is the winner, but actually wasn't, is the goal that's replayed every year for FA Cup third round day.
Yes.
Mickey Thomas stepped up. He was actually at the Wrexham game the other day. I saw him the other day. He's a good guy. He stepped up, smashed a free kick into the top. I mean, it couldn't have been any more in the top corner.
Yeah.
And he tells the story that he'd had a chat with Dave Seaman before the game, and Dave Seaman had promised him his gloves after the game, and he still came and gave them to him. So after the game, he went and found him and gave them to him. And according to Mickey, David Seaman said they don't work anyway. So Mickey scored that to make it 1-1, and then the scrappiest of goals ever from local boy Steve Watkin. But that was the one that never gets remembered because obviously Mickey's free kick's a bit more dramatic. However, we've obviously got I'm sure the penalty that was seen around the world was the Ben Foster save when we beat Notts County on Easter Monday and Foster saved the penalty in the last minute, and they were obviously pushing us to win the league. But the game for me that will never ever be beaten is Boreham Wood. To get promotion from the National League. I honestly don't believe that and there's many other Wrexham fans who've been supporting Wrexham for years who would agree with me on this one. I'm not saying this is going to happen and being big-headed or anything like that. If we were to get to the Premier League, there's a chance of that. But if we were to ever win the Premier League or win an FA Cup or a Rumbelows Cup or Carling Cup, whatever it's called this week, fizzy drink cup, that it wouldn't beat that day. Beating Boreham Wood to get promotion from the National League after 15 years of suffering in that league was absolutely unbelievable. I'm getting emotional thinking about it now. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. And I'm fortunate that you mentioned I'm in the documentary a little bit, so I get given a fan cam to carry around with me to match days. And you usually get 10, 20 seconds at most from what you film each day. That day, though, I went to the game with the fan. I was given the fan camera by the guys from Disney, and I took it and I filmed the pre-match in the pub before. We were in the ground and everything. We went 1-0 down, and I don't think anyone thought at that point we're going to lose. Though we went 1-0 down after about 30 seconds, and it was like, all right, just going to need to score more than you now. And yeah, I've got this video, and normally I go to the club shop and I drop the camera off after the game, but I just thought I'm not doing that today. I need to keep this, so I took it home and I downloaded all the footage and I made a little video and I put it on YouTube, and I can send you the link. But I mean, there's people crying in that, hugging everyone on the pitch. It was just an absolutely unbelievable day, and we did that the next year as well. We went straight up from League Two, and everyone went on the pitch. But it just wasn't. It was great because we'd won the league, but that wasn't as good as the year before. Boreham Wood will never be beaten.
Was it just the pure relief of getting out of that league finally?
Yeah, it was just absolutely unbelievable. Just sense of you just almost felt it drop off you. It was a physical thing, and everyone around was crying and hugging and kissing, and it was just and to be there with my family, because I wrote season tickets, we got them long. I'll tell you a little story about that. I got my season tickets. I cancelled them after years of watching them, just for life and stuff and whatever got in the way. And then when my son, I think it was about 8-9 years ago, it came up as a memory recently, his first game. We played Torquay, I think it was. And he was there, and we went in, and I decided to get season tickets for us. We found our seats in one game, and then we went in and the next season we've got season tickets. And one Tuesday night we were there and it was raining. I was getting wet, but I moved back to the row behind me because you used to be able to do that. And I was like, the row behind was dry. And I went into the club shop and I said, can I change my season ticket to that one? They're like, yeah, that's fine. We can't do that anymore. anyway, so I rambled. But yeah, it's just, I'm fortunate. I've got season tickets. A good mate sat next to us, and more good mates further down. And the guys in front of us and guys behind who've all been there, and across the aisle from me, just hugging everyone. It was just everyone was just felt the absolutely just the relief and just amazing, unbelievable day, unbelievable. But
that seems like a nice little kind of pivot to talk about, kind of the arrival of the money and Deadpool and his partner in crime, which, by the way, we always like to do this little thing where we try to play a fan chant and see if John can guess it.
I'm waiting to see the ones you're going for on this.
Well, do you know what? There's so many. I'm going to start with the easy one. This isn't even really one for you to guess, John, but here we go.
Let's set about from the centre of town. Famous old stadium's crumbling down. No one's invested so much as a penny. Bring on the dead girl and on McElhenney.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I know that was on the documentary, so I know that.
Yeah. So okay, that's the Bring on the Deadpool and Declan Swans. Yeah, they were on the. They did.
There's some good guys. They've been Wrexham fans for years. Scoot, the main singer, but Jonesy and Ben, really good guys. They managed to, because of that, we had Kings of Leon playing at the racecourse a couple of years ago, and they supported them. So, I got in super early to go and support them. But I'm not going to lie, it's going to set me off again. I cried watching them on stage because they were just lads I know living their dream, and it was just just brilliant. A lot of their, if you listen to their back catalogue on Spotify, it's a little bit different. They've had to change quite a bit of their stuff. Yeah,
might have to go digging there. I only got 2 more because there were just so many to pick from, and I just wanted to give John a hard time, really. So let's try this one.
Appreciate that.
It will come around again now. Here we go. Come on, John, what's that?
Was it a clean version?
Yeah, it's
It
clean.
is. It is. It
It's
is.
very
Yeah.
clean. Yeah.
Well, it takes me back to the same tune, and Liverpool fans used to sing it back in the 80s, 90s, which I can't probably say. But no, what is it?
It's Wrexham Lager, feed me till I want no more. Simple as that. That's all you
So
have to
Oh,
listen out for.
that's
It's the Welsh
beautiful.
hymn of Bread of Heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bread of Heaven, feed me till I want no more. But obviously the Wrexham Lager, which, here we go, a little stat for you. First lager ever brewed in the UK was Wrexham Lager. A couple of Germans came over and didn't like the ale that was drunk in the UK. Found some water in Wrexham and decided to start brewing lager. And that was the first lager ever brewed. It was actually on the Titanic, probably why it sank. But and now it's owned by Rob and Ryan as well. They own the Wrexham Lager. So
Really?
yeah.
I want.
Right, I got one more, John. You
Sorry, I
never
can go down rabbit holes with
No,
everything you
that's
say.
That's
fine.
great. Love it.
If you didn't get Wrexham Lager, there is zero chance for this one, but
Oh, dear.
had to pick it because I love this one. Here we go.
Obviously a Liverpool song that's been ripped off there, but
Well, I'm glad to know it's not just Arsenal who rips off Liverpool songs.
Oh, he's got this thing that he thinks Liverpool invented every chant in the world and every team around the world has just copied Liverpool forever.
They pretty much did.
Shh, don't tell him this.
I
Don't
hate
feed-
Liverpool. I really hate them, but I know how good their fan culture is. It's
You got any part of that you picked up on, John?
Well, I'm just going to guess it's not we've conquered all of Europe.
No.
No. So go on.
We are
go on.
Wrexham FC. We're never going to die. And like our Chester neighbours who kissed their club goodbye, we're going for promotion and we're shagging all the sheep. We are Wrexham FC and we're going to win the league. There you go.
LA, LA, LA.
LA, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
having
let you
lived-
understand that bit. So Chester, their club folded, and they had to. So Chester City had to folded and became Chester. So they let their club die, basically.
Yeah, because that's the big rivalry across the border, isn't it? It's the
Massively, yeah.
Chester Wrexham rivalry there. So
the
you've got to put a little
cross-border
bit of-
derby.
Yeah.
Cross-border derby.
Horrible.
My mum lived in Chester for many years, maybe 10 years. So and I've been to Chester a lot. So yeah. Thanks for reminding us that we went into administration, which you were an inch away from doing, right? In 2004.
We were the first team to ever go into to have a points deduction. We were the first team to ever have a 10-point points deduction, which caused us to get relegated from, trying to remember the names of the leagues. So what was 3 to 4 or 1 to 2 as it is now? I think it might have been 2 to 3 then, before Championship existed. Yeah, but there was people raiding their piggy banks and putting house leases on the line and things like that to keep the club going. And yeah, managed to do it.
So take us back to when the first, maybe it's difficult now because so much has happened, but we've seen a lot of clubs throughout the leagues get investment, get ownership come in, and it's fair to say hasn't always worked out fantastically. Yeah. There are a lot of owners out there that the fans just want to get rid of. So when it starts getting rumoured that Ryan Reynolds is interested,
I'll take you back a little bit further. I'll take you back a little bit further. So this is COVID. Obviously, we're fan owned. I think we're just over a couple of thousand people who are members of the WST, the Wrexham Sports Trust, and they did a great job to keep us alive. But everything was very much on a shoestring budget. Every year they do a build the budget to try and raise enough money to sign new players, and it was tough. And the year of COVID, it was probably one of our worst seasons, and we were tumbling towards the relegation of the National League. And if it hadn't been for COVID stopping it, I think we probably would have gone down to the National League North. But anyway, to change that a little bit. So there were rumours going around of a takeover, takeover going through, and there was rumours then that it was going to be a celebrity. So everyone in Wrexham starting to guess. And it's all on social media because we weren't allowed to, from memory, we weren't allowed to go out and be in the pubs or whatever at that point. So it was all WhatsApp groups were all firing up, and everyone thinks it's this person, everyone thinks it's that person. The main person that everyone thought it was the guy from Gladiator, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because
Wow.
his family was from just down the road originally before they emigrated. I think his family are from Chirk, which is a village just
Really?
outside of Wrexham. So everyone was just trying to think Hollywood A-lister and, who's got a connection. And then I remember just like seeing this message that it was Ryan Reynolds and just being, Ryan Reynolds? What? Why? Who? What? Just, and I'll be honest, it was like Rob Mack as he is now, McElhenney. Didn't know a lot about him, so I binged watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia and I was like, oh, I've seen that. That's a meme. Oh, that's another meme. Yeah, do you know? So I
Yeah.
binge watched all of that in like 2 weeks. Things that you could do during COVID, not with the kids around, obviously. And it was just very, very surreal. And then there were lots of bits and pieces of it coming out. Little bits of news was coming out, and it then came that we had to vote as the supporters trust. Oh no, we then to be able to, we had to vote. I think we had to vote to be able to listen to them. So if that makes sense, so we had to vote to agree to let them come and talk to us. We then had a Zoom call, and to bring in the doc at this point. So a good friend of mine, Leighton Cox, is a cameraman, videographer, probably much more fancy names and terms for things than that. He was filming. He filmed on the All or Nothing Man City documentary. Obviously, Manchester's only down the road from us, and he was working on that. And he'd done a few little indie pieces and indie films that he'd made himself. And he decided to come. He came up with the idea that he was going to make a documentary about the takeover from Wrexham fans' point of view. He thought there's probably going to be a documentary that gets made or something, but let's speak to the people of Wrexham and we'll record this time in history. And he did quite a bit of filming with me and various other people like Wayne and some other friends of ours and here and there, and lots of people that you see in the documentary now. He then came around to my house. So in the very first episode, for those of you who've seen it, there's me and my wife and my kids are sat in our living room watching. We put the Zoom call up onto the telly, and we were sitting there watching it. He films us watching it, and then the takeover happened, and it was all, this is grand, whatever. And they contacted him because obviously they needed people on the ground. They couldn't send a team over from America because COVID and those were the restrictions. They sent a guy called Milos over who was absolutely brilliant at the beginning. He was the producer, but apart from that, they needed local team on the ground. So obviously searched wherever you search for a cameraman. If you're a Hollywood person, I don't know where that person is, but yeah. And Leighton was obviously well known and recognised within his field, and they asked him to go and film people, but pretend it was being done before. And he said, well, actually, I've got all of this footage of it happening in real time. So they took it off him, and everyone that he spoke to became, for want of better phrases, little characters in it. And so, like, he used to go and film Arthur, the All Fella in it, and there's, Declan Swans and Wayne at the Turf, and we do bits, and Rob at the DVD shop. So there's
all the excitement and the celebs have come in. Is there still cynicism in the crowd, though, that this is a publicity stunt, it's not going to last very long? When did it, and if that did happen, when did it kind of click into gear that, oh my God, they're actually serious about this? And like, how did they earn? Because there's one way of watching on the documentary. There's a lot of jealous fans out there that don't like the money that got thrown at the club. There's also the cynics that say, they didn't really put all that money into the Wrexham Town Centre and really endear themselves to the community. And I don't get that feeling from the documentary. It does feel like they are genuine. Club and town is important to them.
Yeah.
Is that what it felt like on your side? And when did you think this was going to go somewhere?
I think I can't think of the exact time. You know, you're always like, because we've been stung so many times before, there is still, you know, and it's not just, there's the one episode in the documentary where we talk about it, but that's just one time. That wasn't the only time that it's happened. We've had another set of bad owners after that as well, who stole a load of land off us and built student flats. And they're still there, and we can't expand on this. But that's not been mentioned about in the documentary. So it's not just the once that it's happened for us. So I understand, and people, there's quite often messages on social media like, I bet the 2% or the 3% who voted against it are regretting doing that now. But still, I understand why they did it. They were nervous about the ideal for any football club is fan ownership getting to the top. That is people from your community, boy done good, whatever, and or girl, sorry. And you know, and making it to the top. But we were never going to do that under the trust. The WST weren't going to do that. So for them to come in and rescue us, it was just, yeah, it was unbelievable. And to see everything, I think it was when they first came, and just listening to them speak. And I know they're actors. I know they get paid to lie for a living, but it just seemed to everything they've said they're going to do, pretty much, apart from always beat Chester, because they're nowhere near us. Everything they've said they were going to do, they've done. You know, they're finally building the COP back up, and that's going to be done by 2027. It's just, yeah, it's just been. I mean, people hate the fairy tale thing, but tell me what is a fairy tale? It's a happy ever after. It's rags to riches. Just because we've got more riches than a lot of other clubs that we're passing along the way, that's what people don't like. Everyone wants it to be them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every time. So I work in a bar on match days across the road from the ground. Before the game, I'm pulling pints for home fans and away fans. They're all welcome. It's a big outdoor area. It's the Mice Gwyn. If anyone ever wants to come and have a pint in the Mice Gwyn, come along. It's great. It's literally across the road from the ground. And every set of supporters we get from other clubs are all like, it's brilliant. Real football fans love it. It's your social media ones. What people don't like, this is my take on it, and it does get a bit tedious at times, is the fact that we are mentioned in every single story. And that's not our fault. It's because we will bring in clicks. We will bring in viewership. If you mention Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and Rob McElhenney, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Wrexham, it brings in. If you read an article about Wrexham, it's never Wrexham Football Club did the blah, 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 blah. It's Wrexham Football Club, owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, because that'll bring in the coding in on social media or whatever. So I think that's the thing that riles people up. There's bigger teams than us that don't get the attention.
Disney FC.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, the marketing machine has been absolutely phenomenal. Wrexham are known around the world now. We get so here in the US, NBC shows the Premier League. And then beyond that, you have to pay for anything else. You can subscribe to whatever it is, ESPN Plus to get the Championship, and Paramount for the Champions League. So you basically got Premier League free. Everything else is subscription, apart from one other team. And it's not even one of the league. CBS Sports Network were carrying Wrexham games. They weren't showing any other games in that division. So it wasn't that League Two was on TV. It was that Wrexham games were on TV. Yeah. I was flicking around the channels one day. I was like, I can watch the Wrexham game.
The game FIFA had Premiership to League Two, and then Wrexham were included in Rest of World.
That's right, yeah. Well, you were still down in the
Yeah. I mean, they weren't very good on it, but yeah. I mean, I've got this year's shirt on. We've got HP on the sleeve, United Airlines, and Meta on the back. We're just a little town in. Oh, sorry, I meant to say city now, but we're not. We're a town in North Wales, and we've got, we've had TikTok on the front, Aviation American Gin, just insane sponsors, just bizarre, and the money that they're turning over as well. I mean, I can't remember the exact amount, but there's been a share sold and released yesterday or today, I'm told. And it is astronomical price for one share. I'll try and find it now to sell you it, but it's honestly eye-watering. Some 47,833,000. Hang on, so I'm going to read the number out: 47,833,737.23.
My gosh. I mean, I was
That's
just
for
looking.
one share.
Wow.
Yeah, because like you say,
So
you
that,
go backwards and you've got like TikTok and United since the takeover. Prior to that, it was things like Least Direct and a university which I know better than to try to pronounce Welsh words.
Glyndŵr
Yep.
University.
Yeah. Just a little silly story about that. So I am married to a Swansea lass. All the in-laws, obviously, big Welsh community, and I got ridiculed horrendously when I was first going out with her. And we were driving into Wales. I was taken. We
That
were
sounds
in
like Gavin and
university.
Stacey to me.
It was. We were in University of Reading. I was driving us back to visit her folks for the weekend. First time into Wales for me. And as you go over the bridge, I didn't know that all the road signs are in English and Welsh. So we see this thing that says services, and beneath it, it says, I'm going to try this, Gwasanaethau. And I'm like, okay, didn't think anything of it. Drove past, saw another one, and saw the same thing again. I was like, what's this Gwasanaethau then? She went, oh, it's a lovely little village down on the coast. I was like, okay. And go past the next sign, Hotel Gwesti. And she's like, yeah, that's the biggest chain of hotels in Wales. I was like, oh, I'd never heard of Hotel Gwesti. So I didn't know that they were just the Welsh words underneath the English words. And they mocked me horrendously for that. Yeah, it's, there you go.
Yeah, we've got a lot
I
of
have
Hotel Westies in Wrexham.
Yeah, loads of Hotel Gwesties. I have a soft spot for the Welsh, though. It's just, I'm probably have to give back my English ID card for this one, but even just like listening to the Welsh national anthem before, whether it's rugby or football, there's something more. I don't know what it is, visceral, emotional. It's just a good anthem. Like ours is a bit.
I'll tell you a little story about one of the best versions of that anthem that's ever been played in recent times. So what I think it was S4C, which is our channel for Espedrec, which is the Welsh language. Their sound guys, S4C is basically run by BBC as well. So their sound guys went around the stadium before the game, and they put mics in certain spots around the game, around the stadium. They started the anthem and they cut the music off after the beginning.
Is this the World Cup qualifier, the World Cup game? Right,
yeah.
Okay, wait there 1 second, because I wasn't sure if we were going to get around to this. You mean this? I mean, that is hairs on the neck. That is like, I found that because someone said, this is the time where the band gave up because the crowd were just better. It's just the best rendition.
Phenomenal. It does remind me of Welsh rugby, though.
Try being in a stadium. It's unbelievable.
Were you there for that one?
Not for that one, but many times I've been. I was fortunate in 2016, the first time we qualified for a major tournament in my lifetime since the 50s. And just the first game, when the anthem went, it was just everyone in there was crying their eyes out. But you're turning. This is like counselling this session. I tell you what, I've been therapy.
It just hit me. So my father-in-law, he knows I'm into football and I don't really have any interest in rugby, but he kind of almost said, like, in order to be part of this family, you got to come along and watch the Welsh team. So he took me along to watch Wales against, I can't remember, Fiji, I think it was, and we were down almost right at the front where you could almost feel contact as the tackles were made. It was kind of making shockwaves and sending you backwards. But the anthem, and that wasn't even, I think that was just an international friendly, but I still remember that anthem being belted out and thinking,
My,
oh, I wish the English one was
my,
sung like this.
yeah, I know it doesn't compare, does it? My dad's Welsh, and we used to watch the Welsh rugby together. So that song puts the hairs on the back of my neck up, and it's so unbelievably passionate. I did want to touch on. So there's only one team ever in the history of English football to win promotions in 3 consecutive seasons, and they're not English. It's Wrexham. Now, this for me, right, would be the hardest part of being a Wrexham fan since the documentary, right? Since Reynolds and McElhenney. You've got to support your team. You're going to have favourite players, and then the next season, you've got to say goodbye to them. So how tough is that?
I mean, 100% you're right. That if you think though, going back for the 15 years, the churn of players, every year you're having a different team anyway. So you get used to that. But the difference now is they're good. We were used to losing players. If anyone who was decent, they'd be off somewhere else. They'd be signing for another club, and that was it. To have players that you love, and I don't think love's too strong. You've got that emotional connection with these players who've been there and taken you from National League. It really is hard just knowing that they're just not good enough anymore. And it feels, but this last week we said bye to Jimmy Mack. I know he's a divisive character in football, James McLean, but he was absolutely adored by Wrexham fans because he was one of ours. He was hated by everyone, but wore his heart on his sleeve. And we've got the Welsh side of it as well. He's publicly anti-monarchy, but then so is a lot of our fan base, and same as yours, John.
Yeah.
We were the perfect fit for him, and this last week he came back to say goodbye. We've let him go on a free to Derry, his hometown team, and Paul Mullin, he's a legend of the documentary. To score 100 goals in the few seasons he did, and people say, "Oh yeah, but it's because he was playing against non-league football." He's still got to put the ball in the back of the net. He's still got to be in the right place. Yeah, these players have been brilliant for us. It does one thing that I do find that it's almost like the Premier League. Life began with Wrexham at the takeover, if you know what I mean. We go around and there's murals all over town. There's a couple that have been done. Really talented local artist, Liam, pencil craftsman. Look at his work online. He's done a lot of murals online. We've had some others, and they're getting a few older ones. But a lot of the stuff that the club do and their official stuff, it's all very since the takeover. They're talking about these players who have, and we've got a lot of really good history before that as well. The likes of Joey Jones, the first Welshman to ever win 2 Champions League medals. One of the most, I think he was in the top 50 all-time Liverpool players in a fan poll. Players who just wore their heart on the sleeves and stuff, and they're almost forgotten about. Like the First Division is now. If it didn't happen in the Premier League, it didn't exist. And I think there's, for years we were social distancing at Wrexham before that was a thing in the ground, and we always wanted people to come in, and you wanted the seats to be full. The big games, they're always full. We had thousands and thousands of supporters. People say, "Oh, you didn't have any crowds." We just didn't have people that came every week. Yeah. Everyone I know was a Wrexham fan. They might have supported a Premier League team as well, and they'd all come 2 or 3 times a season, but they didn't come every week. And now everyone can't miss a game because if you miss something might happen. And You know, you
there's
can't buy season tickets anymore. It's tickets
yeah.
that fly off out, and yeah,
So when the COP is finished, completed, what's the capacity going to be?
I think that's 18,000,
18.
which still isn't. I mean, what have Brentford got? Are they something around that?
Think so.
They're close to that. I think that's
Yeah.
19.
So I mean,
But there's a lot like Birmingham, near 30,000. Those kind of, excellent clubs that are a little lower than they should be,
yeah,
perhaps.
people are saying that it's too soon. To go back to your point of back to back to back. I
Mm.
mean, if we were to do it again and say, oh, we're not ready to go up, when is anyone ready? There's teams
Exactly.
that have been dying to get out of the championship. You've just got to build on the momentum. If you've got a chance
There's
to go up, you can't say, "Oh, we're not ready." Stop.
and we've seen there are teams that have gone up, have come straight back down and got pitted every week. And then you talk to some of those fans, I
And
don't
again
care.
by
I was
Luton.
having I was having away days at City, Arsenal, Liverpool. It's like, okay, we're losing, but just being there was an amazing experience. So you've got that aspect. Then you've got the ones that have made it and actually kind of stuck around and actually found a way of just being
Yeah,
the fourth worst team in the league. That's all you need to be for that first season.
Everton for
And
forever.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep
Tell me
keep
about it.
yourself in there. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. There's no such thing as too soon. Like, if you say to somebody, right, you can get promoted this league this season, but it's going to be too soon, or you can stay in the championship for the rest of your lives and maybe go up in 10 years' time. Go now. Just go and have a go and see what you can do.
Yeah.
So
It's
so so this so this season then, could you do back to back to back to back?
Why not?
I mean, you're
Do,
only
do,
what
do, do you think
Three
you
points
stand
off.
a yeah?
3 points
off
off
the
playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah.
All it needs is a bit of form. I mean, there's talk of some silly signings coming in. It's been reported this week that we're in the lookout for a guy called Sharif, I think it is, who's 19 million or 12 million up front. But that is just silly money. I mean, when we signed Ollie Palmer for 300,000, that broke our transfer record that was from
Crazy.
Joey Jones in the 80s.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Just
isn't it?
yeah,
And there's a lot of, I mean, it must be a pull. The Ryan Reynolds and that whole thing must be a pull even to the players because there's like
totally.
now sort of like leading players that could still do a job that are getting linked with you guys that will probably never be linked to you otherwise. And I know most of it is just paper talk, but you see some names on there and you're like, right, players when they were getting maybe into their 30s were looking to maybe retire in the MLS or Saudi. Well, now they're actually on the radar of a Wrexham as well. But
Yeah, totally. I mean,
hey,
yeah, we've had some, James McLean, Stephen Fletcher was a brilliant player for us. He's played for Marseille, he'd scored loads in the Premier League, and he was just unbelievable for us. And people didn't want to see him go, but unfortunately, just too old these players now. So, yeah,
yeah, and it's a good sign that you're actually outgrowing. The team is now at a level where it's outgrown the cap of some
yeah,
of the players that brought you along the way. Like you say, it's heartbreaking to watch some of these favourites go, but it's now for a good reason. Like you said, you're not flogging off your best players because you need the money to survive. You're actually needing to get rid of them because now you're wanting to go to the next level, the
yeah,
next level, and the next level. So, Simon, it's been absolutely amazing. I'm just conscious of
no
time. We could
problem.
probably carry on talking to you for about another 2 hours, but I think we're
It's been a
gonna
pleasure.
we're gonna close it there. But what we will do before we go, have you got any final questions, John, before we fire up the supercomputer for the next team?
Well, I just wanted to ask. Actually, I know featured in the fourth series of the of Welcome to Wrexham, they touched on a story about Ukraine. And how it impacts some of the people, some Ukrainians that have moved over from Ukraine to Wrexham to start again. And I know that you work with a charity, Simon,
Yeah,
that's connected to
in
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Maybe you want
Yeah.
to talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's a really small charity that's based in Wrexham, although we are a national organisation. And our main project, I run the Eastern European project for the organisation. Um, the main project that we have is our shoebox appeal. So we take Christmas presents out to kids in Eastern Europe. One of the areas that we work quite heavily in and predominantly in is Ukraine currently. We've spent the summer there after we built summer camp in the Carpathian Mountains. So we're taking kids from safety and putting them in and a summer camp for a week at a time, and they're getting to play and sort of forget about what's going on. There's just to give you a little story on that. There was a little lad called Ilya. We were walking up a mountain one day, and he's 10 years old. He's the same age as my son. He's from Zaporizhia, and he lives 30 kilometers from the front line, and drones fly over his head every day. And he's 10 years old, and he can tell the difference between the sound of Russian drones and Ukrainian drones. He collects shot down drones. My son's 10, and he collects football stickers. That's the difference in these, in what's going on with these kids. But yeah, I'm going out on Monday for a week, and the charity's called Teams for You. Have a look, and if you can support us, that's great. And yeah, really appreciate it. But thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
No, it's awesome. It's been absolutely awesome speaking to you, and we'll link that in the YouTube as well when we put it out, so people can take a look at it and, like you say, support if you can. Okay, on that note, then we need to fire up the supercomputer and see where we're going next after Wrexham. So here we go, firing up the high-tech supercomputer. Oh, okay, we're going down the divisions, John. I actually know someone who lives here as well. My good buddy that works in Formula One works here, because this town is right next to Silverstone. We're going to National League, the 5th tier, Brackley Town.
Brackley Town.
Brackley Town. That is who we are following next. So let's just have a quick look, a little gander on FOTMob. Other score services are available. Let's have a look and see.
Were there any matches against Wrexham that come to mind?
Not Brackley Town. I didn't even realise that they were. We've been out of the league for a little bit, but I didn't realise they were up in the National League there.
Oh, the next game, and it's kicking off. Hartlepool, kicking off in an hour. So it's Jeff Stelling's Hartlepool guy, isn't he?
The team that turned down Rob and Ryan.
Oh, really?
Really?
They were the first choice.
Unbelievable, wow. Jeff.
What a segue.
Wow.
Well, on that note, we will wish Wrexham well for the rest of the season. It would be amazing to see you guys make the playoffs. I don't even know what would happen. I can already see you thinking about it. So good luck with the rest of the season, and onwards and upwards to Brackley Town. Catch you next time.
Cheers.